Most people are living in emotional poverty because they spend their mental wealth on worthless emotional purchases every single day. They waste their limited emotional energy arguing with strangers on social media, getting upset about politicians they will never meet, and stressing about problems they cannot solve. They are mentally bankrupt but do not realize it because they keep spending their psychological resources on things that give them no return on investment. Meanwhile, mentally wealthy people guard their emotional energy like precious currency, only investing it in relationships, goals, and activities that create real value in their lives. The difference between emotional poverty and emotional wealth is not what happens to you, it is how wisely you choose to spend your mental and emotional resources. Poor people react to everything, while wealthy people respond only to what matters. Right now, at this very moment, millions of people are losing their minds over things that will not matter tomorrow. They are stressed about traffic jams, angry about rude comments, worried about opinions that mean nothing, and frustrated by situations completely outside their control. They wake up each morning ready to be offended, prepared to be disappointed, and primed to react to every small inconvenience life throws their way. This is not living. This is existing in a state of constant emotional chaos. Here is what I want you to understand today. Every single minute you spend being bothered by something insignificant is a minute stolen from your success, your happiness, and your future. When you allow external circumstances to control your internal state, you hand over the keys to your life to complete strangers, to random events, and to forces that care nothing about your goals or dreams. Think about your most successful friend, colleague, or mentor. What do they all have in common? They remain calm when others panic. They stay focused when others get distracted. They move forward when others get stuck arguing about problems. These people have learned the most valuable skill in life. They have trained themselves to get unbothered. The cost of being constantly bothered is enormous, and most people never calculate it. When you get upset about your coworker's attitude, you lose focus on your important projects. When you argue with your spouse about small issues, you damage the relationship that matters most. When you stress about things you cannot change, you waste energy that could build your future. When you react emotionally to every situation, you make poor decisions that set you back months or even years. I have studied successful people for over 40 years, and I can tell you this with absolute certainty. The highest achievers in every field share one common trait. They have developed the ability to remain unbothered by the daily nonsense that stops everyone else. They understand that getting upset is a choice, not a requirement. They know that their emotional state is their responsibility, not the responsibility of other people or external circumstances. This is not about becoming cold or uncaring. This is about becoming selective with your emotions. This is about reserving your energy for what truly matters. This is about developing the mental strength to stay focused on your goals while others get distracted by drama. The businessman who builds $1 million company does not waste time being bothered by negative reviews. The athlete who wins championships does not get upset about trash talk from opponents. The parent who raises successful children does not lose sleep over what other parents think of their methods. They understand that being unbothered is not a personality trait you are born with. It is a skill you develop through practice. You are not born to be at the mercy of every person, situation, or circumstance that crosses your path. You were born to be in control of your responses, your emotions, and your life. The moment you take responsibility for your reactions, you take back your power. The moment you stop blaming others for how you feel, you start building the life you want. Most people live their entire lives as emotional ping-pong balls, bouncing from one reaction to another, never realizing they have a choice. They think being bothered is normal. They think getting upset is justified. They think their emotions are automatic responses to external events. They are wrong. Your mind is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. The more you practice staying calm, the easier it gets. The more you choose not to be bothered, the more natural it becomes. But like any muscle, if you do not use it, it becomes weak. If you continue to react emotionally to every small problem, you strengthen the habit of being bothered. Today marks the beginning of your transformation. Today, you start training yourself to get unbothered. Today, you begin developing the mental strength that separates successful people from everyone else. This is not about suppressing your emotions or pretending problems do not exist. This is about choosing which battles are worth your energy and which ones are simply distractions from your goals. The person you will become when you master this skill will amaze you. You will make better decisions because your mind will be clear. You will have better relationships because you will not waste time on petty arguments. You will achieve more because you will focus your energy on what matters. You will be happier because you will not allow other people's problems to become your problems. The training starts now. Every time someone tries to pull you into their drama, you will have a choice. Every time a situation threatens to upset you, you will remember that your reaction is under your control. Every time you feel the urge to get bothered, you will ask yourself one simple question: is this worth my energy and focus? Most of the time, the answer will be no, and that is when you will choose to remain unbothered. Protect your peace and continue moving toward your goals while others waste their time and energy on things that do not matter. This is your moment of decision. Will you continue living as the victim of circumstances, or will you start training yourself to get unbothered? The choice is yours, and it starts right now. Now that you have made the decision to change, you must understand how unbothered people think differently from everyone else. Their minds operate like well-organized filing systems, automatically sorting information into two categories: what requires attention and what can be ignored. This is not something they learned in school. This is mental architecture they built through conscious practice. The unbothered mind has developed what I call a filtering system. When information comes in, it passes through three questions before it reaches their emotional center. First question: can I control this situation? If the answer is no, the information gets filed under not my problem, and they move on. Second question: will this matter in 5 years? If the answer is no, it gets minimal attention. Third question: does responding to this help me reach my goals? If the answer is no, they choose not to respond at all. Most people have no filter. Every piece of information, every comment, every situation gets the same emotional response. They treat a traffic jam with the same intensity as a family emergency. They react to a rude cashier the same way they react to important business decisions. Their minds cannot tell the difference between what matters and what does not matter. Unbothered people have trained their minds to recognize that 90% of what happens to them each day has no impact on their long-term success or happiness. They save their emotional energy for the 10% that actually matters. This is not being cold or uncaring. This is being smart with your most valuable resource, your mental and emotional energy. Think about your emotional reactions like money in a bank account. You have a limited amount each day. Every time you get upset about something small, you make a withdrawal. Every time you argue about something meaningless, you spend your emotional currency. Every time you stress about things you cannot control, you go into emotional debt. Unbothered people are wealthy because they only spend their emotional energy on investments that pay returns. The most successful people I know have mastered what psychologists call emotional intelligence, but I prefer to call it emotional wisdom. They understand that feelings are temporary visitors, not permanent residents. When anger shows up, they acknowledge it, but do not let it move in. When frustration arrives, they feel it, but do not feed it. When worry comes knocking, they recognize it, but do not open the door. Here is a principle that will change your life if you apply it. 80% of what bothers you each day contributes only 20% to your actual success and happiness. The reverse is also true. 20% of your daily experiences create 80% of your results. Unbothered people focus their attention on the 20% that matters and let the 80% pass by without reaction. Your coworker's bad mood is in the 80%. Your child's education is in the 20%. Your neighbor's loud music is in the 80%. Your health and fitness are in the 20%. A stranger's opinion of you is in the 80%. Your marriage and close relationships are in the 20%. Once you start separating your life experiences into these categories, you will stop wasting energy on the 80%. Unbothered people have also mastered the art of perspective shifting. When something negative happens, they automatically ask better questions. Instead of, why is this happening to me, they ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of, this is terrible, they ask, how can this make me stronger? Instead of, this always happens, they remind themselves, this is temporary. They understand that every problem is either a stepping stone or a stumbling block, depending on how you choose to use it. The same situation that destroys one person makes another person stronger. The difference is not in the situation itself, but in how they choose to interpret and respond to it. The unbothered mind sees challenges as temporary conditions, not permanent circumstances. When faced with difficulties, they do not ask, why me? They ask, what now? They do not waste time wondering if life is fair. They focus on what they can do with the hand they have been dealt. This mental shift from victim to victor happens when you stop trying to control what happens to you and start controlling how you respond to what happens to you. External circumstances will always be unpredictable. Other people will always be imperfect. Life will always present challenges, but your response to these realities is completely under your control. The unbothered mind is not born, it is built. It is not a gift some people receive and others do not. It is a choice some people make and others refuse to make. Starting today, you can begin building this mental architecture. You can start developing your filtering system. You can begin training your mind to focus on what matters and ignore what does not matter. The person with an unbothered mind lives in the same world as everyone else, but they experience that world completely differently. They see opportunities where others see problems. They find solutions where others find excuses. They create progress where others create drama. This can be you, but only if you commit to building this mindset through daily practice. Understanding how the unbothered mind works is only the beginning. Now comes the practical part, actually building this mental immunity through daily training. Like any skill worth mastering, this requires consistent practice and specific techniques that you can apply immediately. The foundation of your training is what I call mental conditioning. Every morning, before you check your phone or interact with anyone, spend 5 minutes preparing your mind for the day ahead. Tell yourself, today I choose my responses. Today I control my emotions. Today I will not allow other people's problems to become my problems. This simple ritual programs your mind to operate from a position of strength rather than reaction. The most powerful technique you can learn is the pause. When something happens that would normally bother you, instead of reacting immediately, pause for 3 seconds. In those 3 seconds, your rational mind catches up with your emotional mind. You regain control. You remember that you have a choice. This pause is the difference between being controlled by your emotions. During this pause, ask yourself the magic question, will this matter in 1 year? If someone cuts you off in traffic, will it matter in 1 year? If your boss criticizes your work, will it matter in 1 year? If your friend cancels dinner plans, will it matter in 1 year? Most of the time, the answer is no. When the answer is no, you choose not to be bothered. Next, you must master the art of reframing. Every negative situation contains a hidden gift if you look for it. The difficult customer teaches you patience. The traffic jam gives you time to think. The criticism shows you areas for improvement. The rejection redirects you toward better opportunities. Unbothered people have trained themselves to automatically look for these gifts instead of focusing on the problems. Energy management is critical to your success. Your mental and emotional energy are finite resources. Every time you get angry, frustrated, or worried, you drain these resources. Every time you argue about something meaningless, you waste energy you could use to build your future. Protect your energy like you protect your money. Only spend it on things that give you a positive return. This is where the detachment practice becomes essential. Learn to observe situations without getting emotionally involved when drama unfolds around you. Watch it like you are watching a movie. You can see what is happening without becoming part of the story. You can understand the situation without taking it personally. You can respond appropriately without losing your emotional balance. Start practicing detachment with small situations first. When someone complains about their problems, listen without absorbing their negative energy. When people argue around you, observe without taking sides. When others create drama, remain calm in the center of the storm. This detachment is not coldness, it is wisdom. Create a daily practice of mental strength training each evening. Review your day and identify 3 situations where you could have remained more unbothered. Do not judge yourself harshly. Simply acknowledge the opportunities for improvement. Then visualize yourself handling those same situations with complete calm and control. This mental rehearsal prepares you for similar situations in the future. Build your immunity gradually. Start with minor irritations, slow internet, long lines, rude service. Practice staying calm and unbothered in these situations. As you get stronger, you can handle bigger challenges, difficult people, unexpected setbacks, major disappointments. Your immunity builds over time, just like physical immunity. Remember that every person who tries to upset you is actually giving you a gift, the opportunity to practice staying unbothered. Every challenging situation is free training for your mental strength. Every frustrating day is a chance to build your emotional immunity. When you start seeing these experiences as training opportunities rather than problems, you accelerate your progress dramatically. The key is consistency. You cannot train sporadically and expect results. You must practice these techniques daily, in small situations and large ones. Every time you choose to remain unbothered, you become stronger. Every time you pause before reacting, you build better habits. Every time you reframe a negative situation, you rewire your brain for success. Your training starts now. Today you begin building the mental immunity that will protect you for the rest of your life. Now, let me give you specific strategies for the most common situations that test your ability to remain unbothered. These are real-world applications that you can use immediately in your workplace. Relationships and daily challenges in your workplace. Difficult colleagues will test your patience daily. When someone criticizes your work unfairly, use this response. Thank you for the feedback. I will consider your points, then walk away. Do not defend, do not argue, do not explain. Their criticism says more about them than about you. When colleagues try to involve you in office gossip, simply say, I prefer to focus on my work, and change the subject. When your boss assigns unreasonable deadlines, respond with facts, not emotions. Say, here is what I can accomplish by that date instead of this is impossible. The key to workplace peace is remembering that you are there to build your career, not to win popularity contests or prove you are right. Every minute you spend being bothered by office politics is a minute not spent advancing your goals. Stay focused on your performance, your growth, and your results. Let others waste their energy on drama. In your relationships, family members and friends will trigger your emotions regularly. When your spouse criticizes your decisions, resist the urge to attack back. Instead, ask, what would you suggest? This shifts the conversation from blame to solutions. When family members create drama, refuse to participate. Say, I love you, but I'm not getting involved in this discussion, and leave the room if necessary. When friends pressure you to do things that do not align with your goals, practice saying no without explanation. "I cannot make it" is a complete sentence. You do not owe anyone a detailed explanation for your choices. When people try to make their emergencies your emergencies, respond with, "That sounds challenging. What is your plan?" This keeps their problems where they belong with them. Financial stress tests your unbothered training more than almost anything else. When money problems arise, focus on what you can control: your spending, your earning efforts, your financial education. Worrying about bills does not pay them. Taking action does. When facing financial setbacks, ask yourself, what is my next step? Instead of, why did this happen to me? Health challenges require a different approach. When dealing with illness or injury, channel your energy into following medical advice and maintaining a positive attitude. Complaining about your condition does not improve it. Taking care of yourself does. When others give you unsolicited health advice, simply say, "I will discuss that with my doctor," and change the subject. Here are specific phrases that will serve you well in any situation. When someone tries to argue with you, say, "You may be right," and end the conversation. When people complain constantly, respond with, "What are you going to do about it?" When others try to drag you into their problems, use, "That sounds difficult. I trust you will figure it out." When faced with criticism, try, "I appreciate you sharing your perspective." The most powerful tool in your response toolkit is silence. You do not have to respond to every comment, answer every question, or participate in every conversation. Sometimes the most unbothered response is no response at all. Let others talk. Let them argue with themselves. Let them create drama without your participation. Practice these responses until they become automatic when someone pushes your buttons. You will have ready-made responses that keep you calm and in control. Remember, the goal is not to win arguments or prove points. The goal is to protect your peace and energy so you can focus on what truly matters in your life. Start using these strategies today. Choose one difficult relationship or challenging situation and apply these techniques consistently for 1 week. You will be amazed at how much more peaceful and productive your life becomes when you stop participating in other people's drama and start focusing on your own success. Let me tell you about 2 people I know who started their careers at the same company on the same day 20 years ago. Both were intelligent, hardworking, and ambitious. Both had similar backgrounds and education. Today, one is the CEO of a major corporation while the other is still complaining about office politics in a middle management position. The difference between them was not talent, luck, or connections. The difference was that one learned to remain unbothered while the other spent 20 years reacting to every small problem that crossed his path. The CEO, let me call him Michael, made a decision early in his career that changed everything. He decided that his emotional state was too valuable to waste on other people's problems. When colleagues tried to involve him in gossip, he politely declined and focused on his work. When clients became difficult, he remained calm and found solutions. When setbacks occurred, he analyzed what went wrong and moved forward without dwelling on the problem. Michael understood what I call the compound effect of staying unbothered. Every time he chose not to get upset, he saved mental energy that he could invest in growing his skills and advancing his career. Every time he remained calm during crisis situations, his superiors noticed his leadership potential. Every time he refused to participate in office drama, he built a reputation as someone who could be trusted with bigger responsibilities. Meanwhile, his colleagues spent those same 20 years getting upset about everything. He argued with customers, complained about management decisions, and wasted countless hours gossiping about coworkers. He allowed every small problem to become a big emotional event. His energy went to fighting battles that did not matter instead of building skills that would advance his career. This is the power of the compound effect. Small choices, repeated daily over years, create enormous differences in outcomes. The choice to remain unbothered, practiced consistently, leads to better decision-making, stronger relationships, clearer thinking, and greater success in every area of life. Unbothered people naturally become leaders because leadership requires the ability to remain calm under pressure. When everyone else is panicking, the person who stays calm becomes the one others look to for direction when problems arise. The person who can think clearly finds solutions while others are still reacting emotionally. When tough decisions must be made, the person with an unbothered mind can weigh options objectively without being influenced by fear or anger. Your ability to remain unbothered also creates a clarity of mind that allows you to see opportunities others miss. When your mind is not cluttered with emotional reactions to daily annoyances, you can focus on the important patterns and trends that others overlook. You notice the business opportunity that others are too distracted to see. You recognize the relationship worth investing in while others are busy arguing with people who do not matter. You spot the career move that will advance your goals while others are stuck complaining about their current situation. This mental clarity becomes your competitive advantage in every area of life. While others are wasting energy on problems, you are building solutions. While others are reacting to circumstances, you are creating the circumstances you want. While others are focused on what is wrong, you are focused on what is possible. The legacy you build when you master this skill extends far beyond your own success. Your children learn from watching how you handle stress and difficulties. Your spouse benefits from living with someone who does not bring workplace stress home every evening. Your friends appreciate spending time with someone who does not constantly complain or create drama. Your colleagues respect working with someone who stays professional under pressure. You become the calm center in other people's storms. You become the person others turn to for advice because they know you will not react emotionally to their problems. You become the leader people want to follow because they trust your judgment and stability. You become the parent, spouse, and friend that others need because you offer strength instead of adding to their stress. But mastery requires daily commitment. You cannot practice staying unbothered only when it is convenient. You must choose this mindset every single day, in small situations and large ones. You must practice these principles when you are tired, stressed, and facing your biggest challenges. You must remain committed to this path, even when others around you are choosing chaos and drama. The person you will become through this practice will amaze you. You will make better decisions because your mind will be clear. You will build stronger relationships because you will not waste time on petty conflicts. You will achieve more because you will focus your energy on what matters. You will be happier because you will not allow other people's problems to steal your peace. Your unbothered future self is waiting for you to make this commitment. That person has already solved the problems you are currently facing. That person has already built the life you are currently dreaming about. That person has already become the leader, parent, spouse, and friend you want to be. The only thing standing between you and that person is your willingness to practice these principles every single day. The choice is yours. You can continue living as a victim of circumstances, reacting emotionally to every problem that comes your way. Or you can start today building the mental strength that will carry you to levels of success you have never imagined. Your training to become unbothered starts now. Your future depends on the choice you make today. Choose wisely, choose strength, choose to remain unbothered, and watch your entire life transform before your eyes.